Anytime.
All right, and we are live on bourbonblog.com live, continuing to celebrate Bourbon Heritage Month, National Bourbon Heritage Month. I'm here with my good friend Bryan Nolt, founder and CEO of Breckenridge Distillery. How's it going, Bryan?
Good, man. How are you?
Good. And so some really big news the last few weeks for you all. The new sponsor, well, the new bourbon for Denver Broncos is indeed Breckenridge Bourbon. This is the first time they've ever had a bourbon, like their own bourbon, right?
Yeah, this is the first year the NFL was allowing spirits. So, we're always last in everything. So, but yeah, now we can sponsor or do sponsorships with NFL teams. So that's pretty cool.
That is amazing. Are you all the first ever bourbon of an NFL? I mean, is this
probably? Yeah.
I'm trying to think of any other NFL teams that have done this. You're the first.
Yeah, I bet you a bunch of people are going to scramble and try to do it now because it just they got word that they were going to be allowed to do it, and so they gave us a call and they said, "Hey, we're going to be able to do this. Would you guys be willing to, partner up?" And I said, "Yeah, absolutely. That'd be pretty awesome if we could make it work." So,
That's amazing. So walk us through. So what they reached out to you? They loved the idea. How did it all unfold?
Yeah, I mean, they just they were interested in doing the partnership, and they're obviously the biggest sports franchise in Colorado, and Colorado people are very rabid about the Broncos. There's some fan bases that are just really, really into their teams. Seattle, Denver, even the Browns, Kansas City. The people are they live and die by the success of the team. And, we're the largest distillery in Colorado. And so, it was worth talking. And then they were really flexible on what they'd allow us to do. So, I said, hey, you want to have some fun with it and bring in some alums and blend whiskey together with those guys and some, cheerleaders and different people like that, super fans, and maybe do like a head-to-head and talk a lot of smack on, on one blend versus the other and see which one people like. And they were like, heck yeah, man, let's do it. So
that's amazing.
That's how it went down.
So what you did was you came up with two blends, which we have right here. And again, for all we know, and it seems like we would know the history of the NFL with this, this is the first ever bourbon to be an official bourbon of an NFL team. Partly because of some regulations that were just applied to all NFL. What does that look like?
Yep, that's right. So I think NFL didn't allow any alcohol sponsorships. And then, a year or two ago, they allowed like wine and or beer. And then this year and that seemed to go well. So I think they finally said, okay, well, let's see how spirits goes. And, it's all the rules are all weird. So like if you're an NFL player, an active player, you can get all kinds of sponsorships that you want, but for some reason you can't do alcohol. Like, okay, but that's the way it is. So, whatever, man, it's, those are the rules, and that's just where we live, is in a world of rules. So ta-da.
If you're an individual, like the players can get sponsorships, but the players themselves still can't get that.
Yeah, they still can't.
But they said to the teams last year, beer and wine's good. This year, spirits are good.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. So you bring these retired. You had some retired players, cheerleaders. I know we posted some photos on Bourbon Blog, and you did two different blends. I have both of these, by the way, right here. It's the blue blend and the orange blend. You call it the Champions blends. What did you do? First of all, any names we would know that came there? Anybody that?
If you're a Broncos fan, for sure. I think most people know Jake Plummer. Yeah, he was quarterback for several years, and Jake was on my team, and Reggie Rivers was a running back. They didn't play at the same time, but Reggie's he's really big here locally, so he's does a lot, locally, and he's a really good shit talker too. So it was good to get him in there. Jake is very he's just super mellow and just really easygoing. so it was kind of funny, seeing those two talk smack. So it was, once Jake got going, he had good comebacks.
And you had right, and you had current cheerleaders or
they're former cheerleaders.
former cheerleaders.
Yeah,
they were cheering on the teams back and forth. So what did you blend? You were which team were you on? The blue or the orange?
I did the orange. Yeah, so Jake
orange.
and I did orange, and Hans and Reggie did the blue.
All right, so these are both really delicious. I've been tasting them back and forth a little bit the last few days. And first of all, for people that are obviously fans of the Broncos and Breckenridge, where can they find these? This is really good stuff and beautiful.
Yeah, it's Colorado only, so that's another NFL rule.
Right.
So we could get it into some other markets that don't have NFL teams technically, but that's super difficult to do. So it's just Colorado only, and I think we're going to do at least for now. It's we're doing at least 3 years in a row of these. So next year we'll bring in some other folks and learn from this one, and then get another series out, and each year do some changes. And these are like really good whiskeys, and the whole experience is a lot of fun too. So I'm just anxious to see what people do. We're not worried about selling it, that's for sure. It's we had to allocate it right out of the gate, and so but we'll just see what people like and don't like about the whole thing. So
right. So this is something that is allocated. How limited are these?
We'll probably do 12,000 cases this year. And we had hoped that would be enough, but
they're already selling.
I don't know. We'll see how it goes, but we'll probably cap this one at 12,000.
12,000. These are so good. So what's the difference between the blends? I mean, I know there's some flavor differences, but how did you approach the orange team? How did the blue team approach the blue team? What was
Yeah, totally. So Hans and I kind of worked together ahead of time because we wanted to make sure that we didn't make two blends that tasted pretty similar, because when you're working autonomously and separately, you can do that. We know our whiskeys really well, and we know where the flavors want to go and what the best flavors are, and we can push our whiskey blends in a lot of directions. And even though the whiskey's pretty much made the same way every time, and the mash bills, the same. They just age very differently, and so when we taste through barrels, which we taste through every single barrel in our inventory, they're in like one of 5 different categories, one of 5 different flavor categories, and so we know when we do a blend, we blend 20 barrels at a time, almost daily, and we know, okay, we need this many of each category, but we can push it any direction we want. So Hans wanted to do one that was fruity and nice on the brown sugar, and I wanted more like caramel and rye on mine. So we started blending in those directions, and we're able to sort of steer the guys when we're putting the different blends together, sort of steer them where things made sense to go, and still have 2 really unique blends. And the blends are they're pretty different. So
they are, and I
really
absolutely get that on the fruitiness and the caramel and the brown sugar. I mean, there's so much going on both. And again, very limited quantities. It's all about celebrating. And then whichever one you like best, hopefully people go out, they find 2 of them, they try them side by side. They just go to this barcode, then they vote on their favorite. Is that what they're?
Yeah. So if you just hit the QR code, it'll take you right to the URL, and it'll tell you the whole story. And there's some pictures and video and everything. And it's just it's quick hitter stuff that you can watch, and it's pretty cool. You get to see how we made it all, and tells the story and shows the guys talking smack, and it's just a lot of fun. And then right there on the website you can vote which blend you like the best, and if you go to the website and enter your info, you get entered to win swag and other prizes. So the big giveaway we're doing is a couple of tickets to the Breckenridge Bourbon Suite. So we have a suite, really awesome suite there at the stadium, and you get free tickets. And we also have a tailgate before every game, so we've got a pretty tricked out tailgate in the parking lot, same spot every time.
So so as part of the partnership with Breckenridge Distillery, the Breckenridge Bourbon, and the Denver Broncos, you all are having a special tailgate and a special suite.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Nice.
And then we've also got the partnership also included branding out, a lot of the stadium spaces. So we're like the featured bourbon in the bars. There's the Bronco Billy, which is a cocktail you can get at any of the bars in the stadium, and we have a large branded out bar. We have murals inside, and all the cool stuff. So there's definitely a big presence in there, and again, it's just a cool collaboration and two things that just go together so well. So it just all integrated really easily.
How does you think a little sip before or after might help the football game of any players? Is it it's been known to give a little energy or to what do you think?
Yeah, maybe I think the offensive linemen like to drink a lot, so they're big whiskey drinkers.
That's
so I don't know what's going on.
Cool thing. So games. So you're going to be at the suite some more yourself. What have you been to any of the games yet in the suite? What's the experience?
Yeah, we had one pregame. So they had one home game for the preseason, and or preseason, not pregame. And so we got everything dialed in there. And then our team will be hosting this. There'll be someone hosting the suite, every game, but. Will be it's the suite's mainly for customers, like whiskey buyers and influencers and liquor store owners and that kind of stuff. So it's motivation for those guys to sell more Breck.
Absolutely. You might even see BBT stop by.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
sounds like a great experience. What a cool thing to be the first bourbon to be a sponsor. An official bourbon of an NFL team. These are both delicious. Both of these are really nice. I'm trying to decide which I like best. I mean, there are so many unique things happening, and I think it goes to show the variety of barrels you all have. And I know you also tap into that in your single barrel program too. Yep.
Yeah, and it sort of depends on the day. Some days I like the orange better. Some days I like the blue better, and they're different. So pretty cool.
Really delicious. Has it been, I'm trying to remember. I know we've talked to you a number of times on bourbonblog.com, but since you released the rum cask, almost a year, or not quite a year since the rum cask was released.
Yeah, I think it's probably been about a year.
About a year. Great feedback on that everywhere from what I'm seeing. I mean, it is something so delicious. How's it been after this year?
Yeah, it's been so good that we're actually adding a new still so we can make more rum.
Wow!
Because we have the rum. We age it in our own rum barrels or Colorado rum, and it's we sort of ran out of barrels, so we're having to make more rum. It's sort of like making more sherry so you can have better scotch, right? It's same deal. So we're making more rum. So we're adding in a stripping still just for rum, so we can lay down more rum. And that one was allocated too, and it sold out just like that. It was gone.
So just
I was afraid of that.
More rum.
I was afraid it would be that popular, and it even So I padded all the whatever infrastructure that went into that, and but it sells out instantly. We'll release a couple thousand cases and they're just gone. So
people are having a hard time finding it some places.
Yeah, we've managed to keep up, but we're getting down to crunch time here, and so we'll be getting that stripping still in here in the next few months, and then that'll allow us to catch up.
Very nice. No, it's delicious. It's so good on its own. Throw a cube in. It kind of has this instant tiki feel without being over sweet. Great balance of the whiskey, that nice that cornbread note we always talk about, and also just this wonderful, luscious rum. How do you like it? Are there any cocktails you put it in, or do you mix it with anything?
Well, so I mean I think that's the cool thing about the rum cask is there's so much flavor, right?
Yeah.
Because we're putting it into spiced rum barrels, so it's picking up a lot of the holiday spice and all those things from our spiced rum, and it's almost like um, a waste to put it in a cocktail. I mean,
Right.
because it's so complex by itself, and
Yes.
so for me, like that's a sipper
Oh yeah.
um, around a campfire or après ski or whatever. If you're in the mood or needing to low carb, you're in the low carb world, and so you can drink whiskey because there's no carbs in it, and so that has essentially no carbs in it, and it's nice because you can have like a complex whiskey. It
Right.
tastes like you kind of made a cocktail in a way. But man, tonight the orange blend tonight for me is just
The orange blend's the one you're going for.
that long spicy finish.
No, you did a great job with that orange blend. You really did, and I like the whole idea of the whiskey diet. I think I think that what you're recommending there is quite good.
Yeah,
This rum cask,
this
rum cask is amazing. I'm seeing Frank's watching. He's forgotten about it. Chad, thank you very much. A lot of great people watching. Share this, like this video. I'll also briefly tell you, it was just about a year ago, and I see our buddy Chad Bates there from Janice Coffee Roasters watching of Wyoming. He came to Breckenridge and he got a barrel of bourbon, and we branded a bourbon blog coffee. So if you are a fan of coffee, I want to stick this link up here. If you're a fan of both coffee and bourbon, it's really been our honor and pleasure to partner with you guys, Bryan, with this bourbon blog coffee. Bourbonblog.com/coffee. We took some coffee beans and aged them in a used Breck barrel, and it's such delicious stuff. So that's where you can find it if you like both bourbon and coffee. And then you can just add some more extra bourbon to your coffee if you want to. But this is like non-alcoholic and really good. All these delicious, the sherry cask, the port cask. I mean, your cask finishes are so beautiful. What else? Obviously, this is a big story right here, but what else is in the works that you're able to share?
Yeah, but big project. Getting ready to release. Let's see, we're in September, so I think this is coming out next month, I believe. We've done a collaboration with Breckenridge Brewery, and that's a pretty cool story. So we initially loved this beer that they had, and we just knew that it was a magic sort of pairing. So they were very interested in doing a barrel finish on a beer, which they did, and it was just exceptionally good. And then as soon as they dumped the barrel, we had the barrels within like 12 minutes, and we filled them with Breck bourbon, and that was already matured and aged. And so we did a barrel finish in there, and it was a pretty long finish. I have to ask Hans, but I think it was like a year and a half or something like that in their barrels. And that was the Sexy Motor Oil release that we did.
Right.
And that whiskey sold out, and it was like just a line out the door until it was gone. And so we wanted to go bigger on that, and so we did. So it's very similar to the Sexy Motor Oil, not exactly the same, but it's called Buddy Pass. And so we did a lot of beer and a lot of whiskey barrels, and you've got to get going with it, and to get the finishes timed right, and then to release at the same time. So we're releasing the beer and the bourbon at the same time. So they'll have, so they'll be in stores together. They'll be like stacked up together, so you can actually try the beer that it was finished in the bourbon cask, and then try the whiskey that then was finished in that beer barrel. And then it's called Buddy Pass. So big release coming up here this fall. That's mainly Colorado again on this initial round, and then but we're still going. And then we're giving those back and getting other ones back, and so we're like seeing what happens after. So this is going to be going on for years,
several times.
The releases will keep getting bigger, and they'll be in more markets, and but again, allocated product. But oh my God, super awesome. Did we get you a sexy motor oil? Did you get one of
I
those?
don't think I've tried it yet. I can't wait to try what
dude.
It's. I know. I know. We heard about it, and it sounds really amazing. This particular one, the beer and the bourbon, is it? What kind of beer is it that you finished in?
It was an imperial stout, I believe.
Oh wow, a stout, and then the stout. So the stout, so it was your whiskey barrel, got dumped at Breckenridge, went down to Breckenridge Brewery, and then held the stout, and then came back.
That's right. Yeah, and then spent a year and a half.
Wow. Aging in the bourbon was aging in the beer barrel.
That's right.
For a year and a half. Amazing, buddy. And again, it'll be released at the same time.
Yep.
In Colorado. What month will that be? You think?
I think it's next month. I think it's like the end of next month.
October. That sounds.
If not, it's early November, but. And then we're going to try to get it going. We're going to try to get the cycle going. We'll release it around like Father's Day and then around the holidays each year.
Nice.
And then we do have more sexy motor oil coming too.
Oh,
so
good.
We're going to do like a super sexy motor oil, which is going to be like, after the barrels have gone back and forth a couple of times.
It's gotten smoother and sexier, right?
Yeah. I think there's going to be like a super sexy. We're shooting for like Valentine's Day for that first release of next year.
Nice. That's so cool. And you're literally just going down. I mean, you're just going across town with these, right?
Yeah. Initially, we did. So they don't make enough beer in
Breckenridge.
Yeah, in Breck. So they have the big brewery in Denver.
In Denver.
So
okay.
So we're now it's you get a we don't want to lose any of the essence of the beer, and we don't want any secondary fermentation or anything to happen. So it's literally like as soon as the barrels are dumped, the bungs pounded in and they go on a refrigerated truck and come immediately here, and we're sitting there ready. The minute they come, we fill them and then roll them out. And then then they're good. Then they got to sit for a couple of years, but
excellent. No, that sounds so fun. So be watching for the Buddy Pass with Breckenridge Brewery. I love their beer, and I'm obviously a big fan of the Breckenridge Distillery. That's coming this fall. Any events that you all are a part of or looking forward to in Colorado? Anything?
Oh man, that's a lich question there. It's like we have always done so many events, and it's nonstop. I mean, it's between Lich and Billy. They're and a couple other team members with them. It's events. So yeah, we're always doing something. And if there's something cool going on in Denver or Colorado, and there could potentially be bourbon involved, we're there.
Yes, you guys have done such a great job building it, and what a cool thing that now you're the official bourbon of the Denver Broncos, and in Colorado, be looking for these. They are allocated. Grab a bottle of each, try them next to each other. These are at the same proof, aren't they? They're both 86 proof, just as and of course we love the original as well. This is really a nice way to change it up. Nice gift to get for a Denver Broncos fan. And then of course the rum cask. I'm also a big fan of the sherry cask. Amazing stuff. That goes so well with the cigar and so many other things. There's just no end of good pairings. Such great stuff.
And I just always tell people it's what's unique about what we do is you can come visit, and we're a destination distillery. We take hospitality seriously, and you gotta if you want to eat or do more extensive experiences, it's wide open. You just got to plan for it. You can't show up. You gotta just book it, get a reservation, and we opened the Founders Lab this year, which I don't believe you've got into yet, but Founders Lab is one of our old barrel rooms. We've turned into a high-end consumer experience. So you can do an upscale flight if you want for not much money, and you can be led through a tasting, or you can do all whiskeys. You can pick from several different flights of whiskeys. You can taste through our other spirits as well. And you'll be led through, and you'll drink it out of a glass, not a tasting cup. And we offer food pairings with those, so you can do a flight of spirits with food. We also do spirits and chocolate pairings, which are really awesome. They've been curated very carefully, and they're amazing. And you can also do the whiskey blending lab. So if you sign up, you can come in and you can actually blend your own whiskey. So we'll take you through, it's 2 hours. We'll take you through the process. You'll taste through all the whiskeys and the different flavor profiles that we were talking about before in those different categories, and then you make your own blend. And then you bottle it and you take it home, wax dip it, and it's got your name on it, and everything else is pretty cool.
Amazing.
So that's definitely worth checking out. And those things are very popular. So you just got to kind of plan ahead a little bit, but they've been a huge hit and a lot of fun. So
cool. Congrats on that, and all the ways you've grown the distillery experiences, everything you're doing there, and hopefully we'll see you real soon, Bryan. These are both delicious. The verdict for me is still out, but I can see so much great flavor profiles on both of these, and then no doubt, as you said, next year you'll have 2 other new blends. You'll do this every year with the Broncos.
Yep, definitely. At least for the next 3 years.
Nice. That'll be fun to watch it unfold. Good stuff. Well, Bryan, thanks so much for joining us live from Colorado here on Bourbon Blog, and our best to Litch, Jesse, all the team there, Billy, everybody, and hopefully we see you real soon.
Sounds good, man.
Cheers, Bryan. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Make sure you like and share this video.